Hey guys, it's Rob here. Real quick, I just got a new mic, so you guys let me know how it sounds and if it does a better job than my previous mic. Anyways, today we're going over the history of Showbiz Pizza Place and Chuck E. Cheese in Kansas City, Missouri. In case you don't know, this area is home to the very first Showbiz Pizza Place location, but also is home to a place that isn't Showbiz Pizza Place or Chuck E. Cheese, which we'll also be getting into. For now, I want to thank Michael Armenta for requesting this area. As usual, I've gathered information from multiple different sources, which I'll be linking in the description. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, as in the next video, we'll be covering an area which had a very unique 3-stage. Anyways, let's get into the history of Showbiz Pizza Place and Chuck E. Cheese in Kansas City, Missouri. The 2726 NE Vivian Road location opened on March 3rd, 1980 as the very first Showbiz Pizza Place location. The earliest instance I could find of the location being mentioned is from a job list on newspapers.com from February 12th, 1980. It doesn't mention the specific jobs they're looking for, though. There's an article from a little over a week before the location opened, detailing some of the restaurant. Firstly, in one room would be 70 arcade games, and in the other, a 5-piece band. This was planned to originally be a modified Wolfpack 5 that would have seemingly replaced Beach Bear with Billy Bob. Though this was scrapped, as we know that the Wolfpack 5 they received was mostly the same, minus Queenie, who became Minnie, who is mentioned here. A couple of other things to mention here is the mention of the shopping center it was at, the Antioch Shopping Center, which is inspiration for the spider Antioch's name, and also this artwork of the Wolfpack 5 which has all the characters minus Beach Bear, since, as was said before, he was originally not going to be featured here. Finally, they mentioned that 6 different shows were designed for the restaurant, each being around 4 minutes long, and that additional shows would follow. Getting into stuff after the store opened, our main photos come from Showbiz Pizza.com, which showcases the Wolfpack 5 at this location. Since I haven't talked about this stage type before, let me briefly go over it. This was essentially the predecessor to the Rock-afire Explosion, in which the Wolfman, the wolf with a beard, was the MC and introduced the shows. The other 4 characters were the ones who performed the shows, and from left to right are Fats, basically the same as his Showbiz counterpart except in name, Dingo, inspired by Beatles drummer Ringo and also dressed a parody such, Beach Bear, who appears to be the same character as in the Rock-afire Explosion, and Minnie, who is a special version of Queenie which was turned into a mouse instead of the fox she was before. There's another photo from newspapers.com showcasing the showroom area, though the image is mirrored seeing as Fats is on the right side and Dingo's to the left of him, and so forth. Video-wise, we have multiple performances recorded from this location, and from what I can see, the show works perfectly here, which makes sense. I've also heard that there was a cabaret act of sorts at this location, which was a wolfman in another room called the Disco Room. I can't confirm this info, but I thought I'd include it here in case anyone mentioned it. In 1981, the Wolfpack 5 would be removed and replaced with the Rock-afire Explosion. Cheese-e-pedia says it was sent to Dublin, California after that, though that location opened in 1982, so I don't really think this info is correct, unless the show was stored somewhere else before being sent there. What I do know for sure is that the show ended up back in CEI's hands, and is still with Aaron's giant collection of animatronics to this day. The supposed Disco Wolfman also is apparently with Aaron. Unfortunately, after this point, there's not a whole lot to go over for the Showbiz Pizza era, though we do have one video to look over. We get quite a bit of footage of the store from this time, that being 1989. Let's go over the showroom first. Firstly, we get a look at Rolf and Earl, who are working well here. And surprisingly, Rolf can kinda sing here, which is surprising because I've never heard him do so before in any other material. Next is Center Stage, where all the animatronics work great, though Duke has suggested to not hit the drums here. Unfortunately, we have no footage of Billy Bob or Looney Bird here. Moving on, we get to see the rides, a few of the arcade machines, and the ball pit. Sometime in the late 80s, this location received the 1988 remodel, removing the old artwork and replacing it with new artwork, receiving a new sign that said Showbiz Pizza, added checkers inside and outside of the store, and received the Showbiz Pizza Campground upgrade. Beginning in 1989, due to a fallout between Creative Engineering and Showbiz Pizza Time Inc., concept unification occurred, in which every Showbiz Pizza place would convert their Rock-afire Explosion band into Munch's Make Believe band. Antioch would be one of the vast majority of locations to undergo this change, receiving it between 1991 and 1992. Video from 1997 mostly shows off the showroom, where we get to see the animatronics perform. They all seem to work well here, and their flows seem adjusted quite high as well compared to how they usually were for a 3-stage. I also noticed that Chuck had not received the second iteration of his latex mask by this point, and was still sporting the first iteration of the latex mask. We also see that this location had received the major 90s remodel by this point, seeing as decor from this remodel is installed here. We can also see the sky tubes here. There's not much to report on in the 2000s, though we do have some photos of the location from 2005, thanks again to Showbiz Pizza.com, that shows off the exterior, the major 90s remodel one, and also a couple of photos of the showroom, where we see all the characters had gotten their plastic masks, and also see that Much Jr. was removed by this point, though Pizza Cam appears to still be around. We also get to see the balcony and a look at some other art they received from the major 90s remodel. Unfortunately, in spring of 2007, this location was closed, likely due to the fact that the rest of the Antioch shopping center was abandoned, and this was the only business left in the center. The store would remain abandoned for a few years before being demolished with the rest of the shopping center in 2012, in place of a new shopping center. As of February of 2024, this is what the area remains as. Unfortunately, we have no clue what happened to the animatronics from this location. This location did relocate, however, so let's go ahead and talk about that location. 9196 in Skyview Avenue location opened on August 4th, 2008 as a Chuck E. Cheese's with a Phase 4 remodel, and also had a Studio C beta with a 16 movement bot. This bot had cool Chuck attire upon opening, interestingly enough. We also have a screenshot from Google Maps a month before opening showing the location being built, which is cool to see. I couldn't find any video of the animatronic, but I did find photos. These are from 2017 and show off the games, rides, skytubes, and the animatronic, and Avenger attire aside from the cap. In August of 2017, this location received one of the first 2.0 remodels, and removed the Studio C beta stage and animatronic in favor of a 2017 model dance floor, which is what they still have to this day. Before we move on to the last place, I would like to also mention that this exterior actually looks pretty nice. Barcade on 334 E 31st Street opened on May 24th, 2018, called the Rock-afire Bar, and opened with the Rock-afire explosion, albeit an incomplete one without Looney Bird or any of the prop characters. This was a unique stage setup that was essentially one stage shaped like an L and had all the characters lined up beside each other, aside from Rolf and Earl, who were on a raised platform. Beach Bear also had a unique look, sporting a blue lei and white hair initially. Many props were not here whatsoever, though there were some props that were here, such as the Rock-afire explosion sign, a few of the tree props, and some of the Smitty's Super Service Station props. I'm unsure as to where any of these animatronics came from, unfortunately. A video from July of 2018 shows them off while they're not performing, and I noticed that Beach Bear's white hair was gone, as well as Duke's snare drum. The front of Earl's pants are also not snapped on. A performance from August of 2018 shows Duke's drum is back, and the animatronics work great here. We also get to see that spotlights were installed in this setup as well, which is nice to see. We see from a video in October of 2018 that the wall behind the stage has been painted with trees, as well as rainbows and prop characters, such as the sun and moon. No Antioch was painted here, though. Supposedly, in January of 2019, animatronics from Boomis Pizza Fiesta were put on display, though these did not operate. Unfortunately, this place closed on February 25th, 2019 due to some sort of conflict with Aaron. I believe it was either a controller conflict or something to do with the shows they were playing, or both. I'm not super sure about that though. A video from not long before they closed shows that the bots started to be neglected as movements like Beach Bear's mouth stopped working and Billy Bob's guitar is nowhere to be seen. I'm not sure of the whereabouts of all the bots, but I believe the Fats was sold on eBay by Jack a little while back, so hopefully that went to someone who will care for it. In conclusion, this place was certainly an interesting one to cover, being home to the first Showbiz Pizza Place as well as the public Rock-afire show in modern times, even if it was short-lived. Overall, this was a pretty cool area to go over. Thank you guys for watching this video. It was nice to be able to cover a place that wasn't Chuck E. Cheese's or Showbiz Pizza Place for the first time ever, but just a place that had one of these shows instead. My next video is going to be going over Mobile, Alabama, which had a very unique 3-stage with some cool features at one point. If you're interested in seeing that, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you're notified when that drops. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.